We can start now.
Okay. So today we will talk about the teachings of Nisargadatta Maharaj. Again, one of the great enlightened masters, truly talking about the presence of I am and what he brought to this world. He is one of the masters who promoted the direct path to self-realization. His approach was also very it's very uncompromising and rooted in the direct experience rather than elaborative, ritualistic practices. Uh, Maharaj would consider ritualistic practices is more like, mundane effort. Uh, the teachings are more towards recognizing and abiding in the sense of I am, and then going beyond even to realize one's own true nature as formless, changeless, and ever-present awareness. The knowledge that he brought into this world is enormous in terms of what is the presence of I am and all that. So today we will talk about his teachings. There are a lot of great points, in terms of how, especially for the people who are seeking truth. Maharaj has given some of the ways. We'll also talk about some of the techniques that he gave us for meditation, even though he was against ritualistic practices. But what he gave about the presence and in meditation, how do you observe yourself and all that. There are like 4 or 5 techniques and what we'll just talk about that aspect. So the teachings of Maharaj is more very, very direct. Uh, Unlike any other master that you would see who would actually give you a step-by-step process, Maharaj was very, very direct. And he says, one of the core teachings is they start with I am. I am is in the presence, and you are that what you're looking for. Catch hold of that. Catch hold of that I am. And if you're sure of your I am, everything will come right to you. That's the direct way of looking at it. Do not think that you are a body, do not think that you are a mind, do not think that you are senses or intelligence, anything like that. Just be in a firm state of I am. So when you start to look at it, his teaching, right? Every one of us, what we have is the experience of I. I exist in the pure being. He actually emphasizes, very, very focusedly emphasizes that the pre-conceptual feeling of I am, right, without attaching to the body, identity, or any type of role that you are playing. Instead of thinking that I am Anil, a man, a human being, a leader, or a seeker, or a spiritualist, or part of identity, right? Trying to create your own identity, trying to work towards your roles. He says, just stay in that I am, like a newborn baby. Who knows it exists but doesn't have any words of identity. That is what Maharaj says, when you are in that state of I am, without any kind of identification whatsoever, without any preoccupied feeling or conceptual feeling of I am this, I am that, then you are in that state. He says, continue to persist on that state. Second most important thing that he also teaches or talks about is you are not the body mind. This is a very important concept where he takes us through a lot of different scenarios as to how you come out of this body aspect of it. The object of experience is not the self. You are the awareness in which they appear is what he talks about. Maharaj says, when you look at your body, when you look at your mind or anything associated in that process, his view is very simple, right? You are not the body, you are not the mind. You are the awareness in which they appear. So it is like space where, everything comes and goes, but space is still there. Space is space. Similarly, you are that awareness that has the body, that has the mind, they come and go. You observe your thoughts, you observe your pain. So how can you be what is observed? It's a very direct way to look at things. You are the subject that which is aware of. When I'm able to see the pain from outside, how can I be that pain? It cannot be that. Right? If I am that, then I cannot have the differentiation. So his way of teaching is, hey, that pain, whatever you are feeling in your body, you are not that. The body is going through it. Let it go through it. But you have nothing to do with it. Similarly, thoughts. Thoughts are coming and going in your mind. You observe your thoughts. That's it. When you are able to observe your thoughts from a distance, how can you be that? You are not that. So let them come, let them go. So awareness is your true nature. If you are able to abide in that, the awareness is the primordial and it is the original state. Right? So his teachings are more towards that awareness, taking us back into that state of awareness. That's why it kind of takes little bit of, understanding first at an initial level, then trying to digest and then bring that into the practice. Slowly you start to, you have to the direct path is not something that you can just get it like that, right? So it takes sometimes you have to really go through some of those, read some of his teachings again and again for you to understand what and where this is going and how he is trying to differentiate between what is the truth and what is not the truth. So in the teachings, he talks about beyond I am is the pure awareness. The unborn, the deathless, the changeless, that is what he's talking. That is the state that comes. It is the way he talks is every state that you have, whether it is a body, mind, or intelligence, or any of your senses, or whatever is acting upon, has a state. The state changes all the time. A body comes and goes through different states, and then it leaves. Mind has different states, this time you're good, this time you're bad, mood swings, a lot of that. Intelligence on the same lines, walks through the mind in multiple different capacities. But what he says is that awareness does not stay, does not have a state that comes and goes. And you are that which does not change, that which that stays eternally, that which that observes everything, what is happening. And that is what you are. And he talks about a beautiful example. Imagine a space in the room, right? Like I was saying earlier, you have in the space in the room, you have the furnitures, you have people come and go, you have your bed, you have everything, whatever you can in the space in the room. But if you really look at it, whatever you may do, the space is unchanged. You cannot change the space, right? So you are the space. You are the space and everything else. And everything else that you're associating, the bed, the couches, the stands, the kind of wardrobes you have, whatever you may bring into the room, the chairs, you are not that. Similarly, he kind of tries to put that analogy into the body, mind, senses and shows us that why you are not any of these things. These things are there in that awareness and you are that awareness. So how do you practice is basically bringing that feeling in. It's not like you are imagining things. It's like you are in that state all the time. You're accepting that, okay, I is not an identity. I am is the one, the pure awareness. I am that, right? Then he also gives us some kind of, the formless awareness, right? This identifying and abiding in the true being, right? The sense of I am, I am. So what he talks about is going beyond the state of I am. That's where the real thing is there, right? But for that, the first step is for us to get to that state of I am. Going out from I and into I am is the first state. And once you stabilize yourself in the I am, then you go beyond that. That's the pure awareness, right? The formless awareness. So how do I get to that, right? The teachings talk about very specifically giving the context as to how these things come together. When you really look at it, it's more like, you are trying to become what you are trying to look at. You are trying to get what you are trying to get, right? So the more and more you try to embrace the knowledge, he kind of takes us through a different aspects of it. Once you start about identifying yourself from I, you start to understand the concept of I from a body, mind, and intelligent perspective. Once the BMI aspect is understood, then he takes us through the I am aspect of it, where you are beyond these three BMIs. And then once you stabilize yourself in the I am, then he takes us through the factor of pure awareness, the formless awareness, which is the bridge. He says that I am is the bridge to the final step of formless awareness. So he says it's a process that you have to go through, and the effortless state of you being in the formless happens with the grace, with the feeling and you becoming that, right? Then he also gives some analogies, right? So some kind of experiential analogies as to how this, everything is a projection of consciousness. How do I see that? World is only a reflection of your inner state. He firmly talks about this concept that everything, whatever is happening inside of you, has a direct impact as to the surroundings and everything that is happening outside. He never talked about the concept of outside influencing inside. It's other way around. It is the inside that is influencing outside, right? Everything is a projection of your consciousness, right? The consciousness that I carry is how the world around me is going to be, right? So in this, he gives some kind of a conceptual details as to the how to nurture and have your inner conditioning done, right? How do you change the sense of identity and how the world will appear differently accordingly? It's a very beautiful teaching that he gave. And he also talks about a lot of examples in terms of how you can accomplish and all that. When you are angry, the world seems to be very hostile. When you are at peace, the world feels like more beautiful. When you are, the feeling that you carry and the kind of emotion that you hold on to, and then when you look at the world in that sense, you start to identify yourself that way. So the change is not there out there. The change is here. Whatever you are feeling, whatever that state, moving from this state to that state, whatever is happening here is how the world is being reflected to you. If you are upset with a particular person, when that person shows up, because you're upset inside, and that particular shows up, you don't want to talk to him. You don't feel like spending time with him. You don't like, you feel like, yes, this is not that, that feeling is there. But when you love someone, when you truly, feel that, okay, I love this particular person, then what happens? That reflection comes out, and then you are looking for that very person. So he says that inner is impacting the surroundings and around you as an environment. It's not the other way around. And then, it is also the fact that when you are trying to shift from this I to IR, there is a lot of questions that come our way. Hey, how do I be in that awareness? By constantly reminding yourself you are in that awareness. You are not the I, you are the I am, is how you remind yourself. Whatever may be that association that you are doing today, disassociate yourself. That is the teachings. If thoughts are coming, you say that I am not the thought. If that's the techniques that we talks about, right? And then when you are doing some action, and then remember that you are not that particular work that you are doing. You are beyond that. You are the space within that. And then whenever you are feeling, remember that you are not that, anger or, peace, whatever may come to you. Don't just sit on it, right? That just have that feeling that, oh, this will come and this will go, right? Things will come, things will go, but I am that awareness, right? Constantly remind yourself, constantly withdraw yourself from what you are doing and try to be in that higher state of being is how the teachings go, right? It requires lot of, I wouldn't say it's not concentration, it's more like the presence. You have to be present more for the Maharaj's teachings to sink in. Now, even though he was not that fond of the ritualistic practices, there are few powerful, sadhanas that he actually recommended, right? I mean, he said, the path to go deeper, you have to be very subtle. It requires a deeper silence. It requires a deeper sincerity. It requires earnestness, So in that regard, he gave a few practices, and he insisted that when you are trying to abide in the ayam, you have to practice it. It's a constant and consistent practice that brings you into that. And one of the key aspects that he talks about is when sit quietly. The first, couple, I've just had a couple of techniques that I'm going to talk about from his teachings, right? The beyond consciousness, I am nothing. There are a lot of books that Maharaj has, the teachings have been brought into some of the books, and beautiful books. If you go through that, ultimately what Bhagavan said, in his teachings, and what Maharaj said in the state of being, they both come together. Right? It's the same thing. Only thing is, Bhagavan talked about more on the aspect of how you are to negate things. I am, when thoughts are coming to you, inquiring, and Maharaja's teaching is more about abiding. So that's the difference. So when you are abiding in the ayam, right, sit quietly, close your eyes, ask yourself, what is that knows I exist? Right? One of the key phrases he says, right? What is that I know that exists, that I exist, right? And let all, in that state, uh, drop everything, feel just the presence of I am. Again, this has to be done in meditation. You sit quietly, close your eyes, and then ask yourself, what is it that knows I exist? Ask the question. And then just drop all the thoughts. Just be in the presence of I am. Don't visualize anything. Don't associate yourself with your body. or whatever the activity that is happening surrounding you, stay in that presence of I am, right? And then, and then, and then be there like that, like a flame, just like, just burning without smoke, right? I am. So that I am is the flame, right? If you are, you know, if you cover that I am with your thoughts, like I am this, or associate yourself that I am that, then you're not in that state, right? Let that flame, the way that I am is there, burns in silence. You also be in that state of silence. Just be in that silence, in the presence of I am, and have that wonderful feel. This is one of the technique that we talked about in meditation that you can do to bring awareness to yourself. Now, how do I come back to my original state of awareness? Is through this process. This is a very beautiful. If you do this meditation for a couple of times, you will start to really feel yourself. And this is nothing but what Anapanasati is all about. Anapanasati is taking you, it's withdrawing you from your friend, taking you to the state of being. It is no different, the ultimate state of whether you do Anapanasati or you go through Bhagavan's or you kind of work through what Maharaj gave, they all lead to the same result. It's just that we got to understand the teachings to make sure that whatever may be the path that you are connected to, follow that path wholeheartedly. Sincere and serious practice is how you get there. Right? And then one other technique that he also talks about is nayiti, negation, right? Not this, not this. I am not this, I am not. This is a very, very, a beautiful way to kind of negate everything. Sit in meditation again, close your eyes and just relax yourself, and then watch each thought or sensation as it arises. This is the second technique that we kind of covers a little more deeper. Just say that I am not me, not mine. I am not this. Right? Anything that comes to you, any thought that comes your way, you say I am not that. Right? Try to negate. Right? And attention should always be in the inward, not the outward. Right? Whatever the thought is coming, whatever the feeling that you're generating, whatever the bodily movement you're trying to do, you're feeling in that in that presence of pure awareness, right? That alone remains. So in this process, if a thought comes to you when you're sitting in meditation and then you are in the negation mode, when the thought comes to you, I am worried. You say this is a thought, it's not me. That's how you come out of that state. When a pain arises, you say this is in the body, not me. Because you are pure awareness, right? So the more and more you kind of negate yourself, the 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 factor of residue-less awareness remains, right? Whatever is that you are holding and attaching to, all that will get withdrawn over a period of time as you keep doing it, and then you are in that witness state, the self, the pure awareness state that you come to automatically. This is one other thing that he kind of talks about, and then he gives some examples also, like when things are happening to you, when something, in the society when you are living, and then you go and then there is a lot of trauma, right, that kicks in. And then in that process, you are emotionally very active. When those things happen to you, you are associated with that emotion and you keep talking about it again and again, again and again, again and again, right? And then Maharaj's way of looking at it is like, negate that. That is not me, that is not me, that is not me. In that way, you are able to come out of the situation very, very firmly. And second thing, you are able to hold on to your pure awareness. And this can only happen if you are able to remember this. That's why Maharaj's teachings is all about understanding it. First you have to, it is logic that understands it, but then slowly as you practice it, you get from I to I am, and I am to the pure awareness, right? And then the other one that he also discusses about is witnessing everything. This is basically more towards what Patriji also talks about this concept of witness, right? Sit silently and everything arises, thoughts, sound, breath, right? Everything that is coming and going, you are that witness. Don't try to bring yourself into that. Just become that witness, right? Don't get involved. Don't get labeled or anything. Don't associate yourself with whatever is happening. The breath is happening, just witness it. The thoughts are coming and going, just witness it. Whatever is happening at a body level, at a mind level, at any structure, right? In your VMI aspect, just watch that aspect of what is coming to you and how you are feeling it. Just observe that. Don't become that, right? Silently sit and everything, whatever it arises, the thoughts, the sounds, the breath, whatever. Don't get involved, don't get labeled. Just be a mirror, reflecting all and not clinging on to anything, right? Don't attach to anything. That sense of a separate me, right? When you do that, when that witnessing starts working, the sense of separate me begins to dissolve. That's the beauty of this witnessing work, right? So, when you are like, when there's an example, right? When you are sitting in a bank of a river and your thoughts, right? The thoughts pass by. You don't jump into any boat. You just witness it. You don't talk about, you don't, chat about the boat is this color, the boat has that, the boat, don't associate yourself by trying to bring your mind in and then trying to label that, right? This is how it is, that is. Instead, just look at that boat and be in that state. Again, these things, these techniques, what he talked about, requires a lot of practice for us to be in that state. But this is another way, witnessing everything, is a beautiful way. And then the other technique that, which is a very, very profound technique that he talks about is attention without tension. Attention without tension is a very beautiful technique, one of the best techniques, I would say, that he provided, in his teaching, right? Attention without tension is basically bring attention to the feeling of being, not thinking, not doing. You are being. So the way it starts is I am thinking, I am feeling, right? I am doing, and I am being. There are 4 steps there: thinking, feeling, doing, and being. Out of these 4, what is that you are is you are being. Everything else is that what you are tracking in, right? So when you are bringing the attention, right, you are not thinking, you are not doing. Drop the effort. Let attention be relaxed and open and diffuse itself, right? Abide in that present, effortless presence is how the teachings go, right? You are in that state of calmness. You are in that state of deeper sense of being. So no particular aspects, whatever, whether it is thought that is generating or the emotion or the feeling that's coming to you, none of those things or the doing action aspect of it are impacted in this technique, right? So you are just sitting, having relaxed, everything is coming and going, you are very calm, there is absolutely no tension, you are in that state, and then you go through that, slowly withdraw yourself from everything, and then become and then be in that state of being. And it's like, how a deer in a forest goes around from place to place, but is fully aware, fully alert what is happening. And it happens effortless for that, right? So you're not sleeping, you're not very dull, you are vibrantly aware, and you are at very relaxed in that state. So all these techniques, what he kind of gave us, these are very much possible. Only thing we have to practice it. Right? As you keep doing it, you keep getting to that sense of I am. And then if I remember, right, there was one other technique that he talked about is more on drop the meditator, drop the drop the sense of the meditator, right? You are not the meditator, you are the light in which the meditation is happening. I am, right? Sense of I, drop it. Who is the one meditating, right? Even when you are sitting and trying to meditate, who is the one who is getting experience? Who is the one who is actually going through this motion from, I am this and I am moving into this and I have got this experience. So who is that meditator and how you are looking at it, right? So he kind of gives you a lot of inner sense and then brings you back into that withdrawal mode, right? Disassociation of everything that you are trying to look at. We are so good at associating ourselves with everything. Hey, I am so and so, I live so and so, I have a lifestyle of so and so, I have like-minded people of so and so, I am, a family of so and so, I work at so and so, I have a title of so and so, I live, in the neighborhood of so and so. Everything your association, right? And his teachings are exactly on the other way around, where how you disassociate yourself, right? So even when you are sitting and doing meditation, this is a very beautiful technique, right? Even when you are sitting, even in the Anapanasati, when you sit the initial state, there is a doing aspect of it. Like you're coming, you're sitting, you're clasping your fingers, you're closing your eyes, you're slowly going into the state of meditation, right? And then the point is, who is meditating, right? Who is the one meditating? Are you the one meditating, or the meditation is happening on its own, right? So who is doing this? Who is the one doing this meditation? And who is the one that is watching the I am, right? How do I let go, even being that witness? How do I come into that state of pure presence, right? Indescribable in the BMI factor, like body, mind, intelligence factor, but yet fully known. How do I become? How do I become that sense of awareness through meditation? But I do not associate with anything, and I cannot describe that. Yet I am fully known. Everything is happening. I know. How do I do that? Right? So that's why this technique is very, very profound, right? When you start looking at, so much will fall off, right? All the miseries of whatever you are getting in, the truth alone remains, because his teachings are truth. And he talks about truth alone, right? He doesn't talk about anything else. So what happens is when you start to question who is the one who is experienced, who is the one who is getting this astral travel, who is the one who is going through this third eye, who is the one who is going through any kind of experience that you are getting in, you are questioning the very factor, very identity of that meditator, then you are going very deep. Right? In the technique, when you follow and then go deeper, 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 what remains is the only pure presence. That's it. And that presence is fully aware and presence is fully known, and you cannot describe that presence. that is beyond that state of you being a meditator. When you go and sit, you are the one meditating. When you are experiencing, there is someone inside who is experiencing. When all of those states drop, you go to the highest state of being. In that pure presence, you are everything. You are nothing through the wisdom, and you are everything that portrays as love. Right? So, some of these practices we have to inculcate in our daily lives. Right? That is the reason why this is a very, very important teachings, from Maharaj, that we have to incorporate in our daily lives. And in the way do it is always stay rooted in the presence. Every conversation, feel the I am. Always feel that you are not what you are associating yourself. Even when you are having two people are having conversation, when you are going through this way versus that way and all that, right? Don't associate to that conversation. Be in the presence of I am. Let the conversation naturally happen, right? Don't try to mentally analyze everything, right? Just observe and let it go, right? So when you have that feeling that I am not the I who is associated with everything, and you are in that feeling of I am, and then you just observe things, right? What is happening, how things are coming, how things are going. You slowly stop this mental chatting, right? The analysis paralysis that your mind is used to doing it all the time, those things will stop happening over a period of time. Again, we have to practice some of these things. But once we do that, you come out of that sense of outwardness, and then you become more inner, you know, uh, inner aware, right? How has to what is happening and how you are in that presence of I am all the time, right? Uh, Whenever that identification arises, when you are when you are talking and then you identify yourself with something else, right? And the teaching, it's very clear, right? When you go into that identification, Maharaj says, hey, just pause yourself, take it, one small or, a deeper, long breath, and then come back to that stillness, come back to that state of I am, right? And return to that stillness, how you are observing it, right? You are not becoming that every time, right? Life should happen. Life, let the life happen without grabbing it, without pushing it, without rejecting it, without, uh, trying to influence. Let the life happen through you, as you. Don't try to influence it in a way that you wanted to make this way what versus this way to work. That is where, right, you let go of all these intentions. I want my life to be this way. I want my life to be that way. All these, again, Master is saying that when you are associated to things and beings, you are not the real pure awareness. You have lost the identity, right? Don't don't seek the experience. Rest in that being. Rest in that pure being, the presence of the being. If you keep experiencing, if you keep asking for, I need this experience, I need that experience, you are always identifying yourself with that I. But you are not the I, you are I am. The journey from I to I am is how Maharaj is direct path. That's why it's a direct experience, right? So the Maharaja's way, if we start to bring them together and then try to kind of in a summary way, right? Turn inward to the sense of I am. Number one, always presence of I am. Detached from your body, from your mind, and any identity or roles that you are playing. Detach yourself. Work towards detaching yourself. Observe without changing. onto anything. Let the I am dissolve in the pure awareness. Remain as that. Remain as that. I am that I am. Right? Remain in that state of I am that I am. Right? So as we start to practice these techniques, and these 5 techniques or 4 techniques that we talked about, slowly they take you into the state of presence. When you are in that state of presence, one of the beautiful things that Maharaj talks about is there is no such thing as peace of mind. It's a very, very profound state. We all aspire peace, and we say meditation, oh, I feel so relaxed and all that, right? The teachings talk about the factor as to, as long as the mind is the source of all disturbances. Peace is only found in the absence of mind, is how he talks about. I mean, his teaching is very direct. It requires lot of inner journey for us to be able to grasp to what the depth of the knowledge or the depth of the sense that he brought in his teachings. Right? So that's why when you read those books, Maharaj books, in the first attempt you may not get it, but by reading again and again, you will start to realize that what he's talking about. He's not talking about anything that you are seeing in the material. He's taking you into that state of awareness and state of I am, and holding you onto that I am. And he's saying that how do you negate all these things? And one of the beautiful thing that he talks about is this one, right? There is no such thing as peace of mind. He says mind means disturbance, period. There is no second. Mind is disturbance. Peace is only found. It is only found in the absence of mind. So, like that, right? And once you are absolutely certain, right, that nothing can trouble you, right? He says you have to know that nothing can trouble you. You have to be absolutely certain that nothing can trouble you. And he doesn't leave it that, right? He says that troubling factor, whatever you are looking at, right, is your own imagination. It is your own imagination that is creating the trouble for you. It is because of that mind going into the past and the future and trying to connect the dots is how this whole process is working. Otherwise, you have nothing to fear, nothing for you to think about anything other than being in that state of being. Right? I am pure presence, right? So when you understand that, even from your own imaginations, nothing can trouble you, right? You come to regards in your desires, your fears, your concepts, your ideas, and the teaching is, hey, you live by the truth and truth alone. That's it, nothing else. Only the truth and truth alone. That alone will take you through this journey. These are like very, very great, great sayings by Maharaj, and he gives lot of examples. There were like lot of questions that kind of the more, if you look at the teachings of Maharaj, it's more like question and answers. I know the truth seekers who sit with him ask a lot of questions. He was in Mumbai, and then they ask questions, a lot of questions, and he answers. It's in dialogue, right? All these are in dialogue format, and then everything has been, brought together, and then they have wrote some books, the teachings of Maharaj. So the more and more you look at it, you will see resemblance. The end state of the resemblance as to what the Anapanasati takes you, what the I am presence takes you, and what Bhagavan's teachings, take you. They all culminate at the same point. They talk about the one and only one, the truth alone. Right? Everything else comes and goes. You don't pay attention to it. You are not any of that, and you become aware of it. So that is the teachings. Again, some of these things have to be practiced in a very deeper sense and understand and digest as to how you become from that I to I am, the journey of I to I am, and how you stay and then go beyond that state of I am to the pure awareness or formless state of consciousness. Uh, and then he kinds of differentiates how you transcend from one state, from a body state to mind to intelligence to the higher state of observation takes you into that awareness. It is that awareness that is everything. Consciousness is also an association that you are bringing it down, right? I am consciously aware. I am the person. The personal consciousness that you're creating. You have to go even beyond that. How you do that? So beautiful, beautiful teaching. Recommend reading some of his books. Uh, Very deep and very profound knowledge. Again, the concept of what we hear in Upanishads, in the Vedic culture, uh, how you draw yourself into that Brahman, right? I am Brahman. I am everything, right? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. Uh, all that teachings, whatever those Upanishads talk about, uh, he gives from his own experience, how he actually got enlightened, how his master gave him this guidance that you are not any of this and that, you are I am, and you have to be in that state of I am, a stillness. And as he practiced, it took him about 1.5 years. And then he said when he was traveling on a train, that's when looking outside a window is when he started to get that state, stick to that state of being, basically got enlightened in that state of being. Again, he practiced very furiously, day in, day out, every hour, every minute, for 1.5 years, continuously without anything else other than this teaching, just following it. So he says, if you are diligently doing it, you will also get to that state of I am. You will understand that why and how things are happening and what you are, from a state of identity perspective. So that's the teaching of Maharaj. Any questions? I brought everything together in consolidation because Bhagavan's teachings are very, very deep, right? The Maharaja's teachings are very, very deep. I didn't want to talk about too many concepts and too many, because there are a lot of variations, because the dialogue happened in a multiple different levels. So I just brought the concept together here in the session. But irrespective of what technique and what type of method that you are using, it is very, very clear that the end state of all these teachings is only one, right? You are not that what you are thinking you are. So we have to come out of that state. It's very, very important that we start to identify, disassociate, or disidentify ourselves to everything what is happening and be in that state of being, a pure awareness.
So, Master, I have a question.
Yes,
So
please.
in meditation, when we ask questions, could be any general questions like who am I, or anything like that. Um, I'm not maybe in that state, so I don't really hear back anything. But even though I ask, is it like something in the universe it gets stored, and when I'm reaching in that higher state, would I get the response?
So when you are sitting and then you're saying that, who am I? Right? The
Mm-hmm.
answer is in that question itself. If you are getting an answer, then it is your mind talking.
Okay.
If you ask the question, who am I? And then you sit and close your eyes, and then you say your mind is, immediately you get a response saying that you are Brahman, you are Atman, or you are this, you are that. Then it's your mind talking.
Okay.
In that, it's the answer is pure silence. The answer is pure awareness. The answer is the presence of being. So there is no, you cannot say it. You are that. That's it. You can only experience.
But how
So
do I identify that? The
what is it?
being. How do I identify like being or
You
the
don't identify. There is no identity. You're letting go of identity.
okay.
See, you are everything, yet you are nothing. That's the final step. So when you say I am, when you say I, you are identified. I am the one coming, I am the one sitting, I am the one closing my eyes. I is all your association, right? Identity.
Okay.
What happens when you go to that state of I am is you are no longer in the state of identity because you have gone beyond the state of mind. You're only in the presence.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what Maharaja's teaching is all about being in that pure awareness and how to remain as that.
Okay.
So when you sit in meditation, you close your eyes and then your thoughts are coming. You're not associating with it. Your
Mm-hmm.
body is, pain is coming, you're not associating with it. Right? You should know that when I am able to see something, you are sitting and you are looking through the laptop. You're not the laptop. You know the difference. Similarly, when you look at the pain, you will understand that you are able to see the pain. You are able to feel the pain. When you are able to experience that, you are not that.
Okay.
So distance yourself from the association. That way you get disassociated from everything. And then you are staying in that pure awareness. That's the teaching. And that's why when you sit in silence and you go deeper and you kind of think that, okay, thoughts come and go, your actions, whatever bodily activity is coming and going, and slowly the senses are withdrawn, and you are at a point where the feelings are gone and you are going beyond, beyond, beyond. And eventually you are in the state of no association,
Okay.
right? And that comes with practice, though. That's why it has to be deep, it has to be rooted. You have to root yourself, right? And you have to be very certain here that nothing can trouble other than our own imagination. When you have that firm belief, and when you kind of practice that, then
Mm-hmm.
these things come to you very naturally in meditation, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Good point. Yeah. Go ahead. Any other questions, masters? Because the teaching of Maharaj is very, very direct. So it takes little bit of cycle, and then reminding yourself again and again, reminding yourself again and again, right? Trying to understand how and how the teachings have been brought together and where you need to draw the lines. Right? Uh, this is not about, right, using your logic mind and saying that, okay, I get it, I understand and all, right? It is going beyond those things. But for us to get to know what it is, you have to read some of that again and again, a couple of times for you to grasp the depth of the knowledge and the depth of the sense that he brought into this his teaching. He is very, very direct and takes you into the path. You know, uh, Sagrata Maharaj is one of the very, very uh, profound teacher who doesn't talk about variations and different things. His teachings always are about only one thing, truth. And he only talks his own experience. He doesn't talk any sense of talking about, this is what has been said by this master, that master, or this teaching or that teaching or Upanishads or any of that. He doesn't infer any of that. He just talks about his own direct experience of being in that state and how he kind of, got enlightened, and what are the things that we should do to get enlightened as well, and how we are losing that big picture. That's all. That's all the teachings are about. Very great master. Once again, I recommend you all to read the Sargadatta Maharaj's teachings. Very, very solid, very, very fundamental for the truth seekers. So great books that Patriji also recommends reading some of that. So with that, if you have no further questions, then we'll call it a night or a day here, and then we'll see you all next week. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, masters. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening and good night. See you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.